matches have gone down at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations and 22 goals scored. And now, welcome to yesterday at the AFCON and the preview of the games today on Sport Africa. My name is Ashalulu Afemi. Please grab a cup of coffee. Let's take you through what happened yesterday in Cote d'Ivoire and what we are likely going to see today. Massive upset yesterday at the competition. James Agberebi is here. For the Kyle Degundare still not available. Hopefully, perhaps tomorrow Kyle will be here. James, you are welcome to the show once again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Femi. Happy to be on today's edition. It seems I have to tone down my prediction because the more I make predictions,
I told you.
I'm beginning to shut my mouth up. So I think I have to tone down a bit now because what really happened. But it's a good one for the competition. Yeah, this are the kind of things I want to see. So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking dapper this morning. I look like the legendary Cameroon coach. So, James, who are you looking like this morning? Hugo Bruce?
I'm not looking at anybody. I'm just myself.
Okay.
I don't want to be in the shoes of some players, some coaches.
Okay. Let's get right into it. Let's look at the first game of the day in Group D. Burkina Faso had to take the games, just like you said. No one saw that fight coming from Mauritania, and if not for that, I would call it very unwise challenge in the end that denied them a point. That game could have been an upset because honestly, if Mauritania had got a point in that game, as far as I'm concerned, I would have seen it as an upset against Burkina Faso.
Yeah, heartbreak for them. A team that did very well right from the blast of the whistle. You know, at some point you think maybe they will crack, but they kept going until that last minute I'll call it mistimed tackle, or maybe it was a tired one. You know, it's so unfortunate for a team who had played so well, only to give it away in the last minute. I mean, it was a sad one for them. But good advertisement for African football. Like, it goes to show that the expansion of this AFCON is really exposing us to some very good team. You know, you know, I tipped Burkina Faso to win, but I didn't know that they were going to go through that. You know, I didn't expect them to suffer that much.
To face off a stiff opposition. Yeah.
You know, so for me, I think kudos to Mauritania. I mean, for a small country like that, we are so close to me. I think the draw would have been like an upset for Burkina Faso, but they just managed. Yeah. You know, they kept probing, just a matter of time before Mauritania cracked. But it was just so sad that it was through penalty. Even the guy that committed, you see the pain in him that's if he disappointed his country, but it shouldn't have to affect him. But he did well. Everybody did well in the team. But that was football for you. The football for can be so great.
All right, honestly, the guy wore the expression of his face as if he committed a murder. Apart from their display, what I love about them was the jerseys, the golden paint used to write their names and the number, the shirt number. James, they also had moments of opportunities that they could have even won the game, if not that the Burkinabe goalkeeper was brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. They too, it's not as if they sat back and soak up the pressure. They too, they were probing and they created a couple of chances. But the Burkina Faso keeper was up to the task, you know. So it goes to show that they too, they had a plan. And unfortunately, none of their efforts yielded anything, you know. But I would still say kudos to them. For a team like that, you would think they would be overrun by Burkina Faso, but they gave a good account of them. So they held their own. You know, they showed that they came with a game plan that even if we don't win, but at least let's get something out of the game, which they almost did. It was just unfortunate that that incident happened. I wish the referee was able to wave it away. He did, but you know, VAR will always have a say when it comes to tight decisions like this. And at the end of the day, they have to go with what VAR concluded. So I hope a better luck next that they will not allow this to dampen their spirits. So let's keep an eye on them. I think they're still going to stretch some of the teams in their group.
Okay, of course. That game was Burkina Faso's first time of winning their opening game at the AFCON. And it wasn't a season one. It didn't come cheap at all against a so-called minor. I wish African football will continue in this path, even not when it is AFCON, when you have qualifiers for the AFCON for the World Cup. We are hoping that there will be massive upset like this. It will simply mean that the game is developing on the continent. James, let's go to Group E now. Massive upset, James. Namibia didn't only shock Tunisia, they shocked the world. No one saw that coming. All the predictions, before the game, the permutation, the pre-match statistics, nothing gave them the chance of doing anything against Tunisia. And they grabbed their first ever win at the AFCON finals. What an upset, James.
Yeah, Femi, I think at this point now we'll have to cut the Super Eagles some slack. Super Eagles, Ghana.
Yeah, I hope Kade was here. Kade will have said no.
I know some people want to you see, we are all hard on Ghana and Nigeria. Look at Tunisia, former champions. It came to me as a shock. Yesterday when I did the prediction, I was banking on Tunisia to do the needful, but Namibia came with a different plan. They didn't even read the script. They just came there and dismantled everything. Even that's why some teams would have cracked. After taking the lead, pressure would have gotten to them, and they want to try and defend, but they still kept.
And they kept their composure. Yeah.
Yes, that would show that this is a team that is well coached, a team that stuck to its plans. That's why the fact that they scored, you think they will lose their head. No, they know that this will be a historic win for them, and they held on, not just against any team, against a former champion, a team that have been to the World Cup, that was at the last World Cup. So it goes to show that African football is growing, and that's what we want, the good advertisement of our football. Teams that are really coming up, a good one, kudos to CAF for expanding this competition. We are seeing other teams. It goes to show that football is developing in Africa, So Tunisia, I don't know how they will be like this morning, because that was a big shocker. That was one of the shocks of the tournament, one of the shocks of AFCON history. It never crossed my mind that Namibia will get one over Tunisia. I always have this thing about the North Africans, that they know how to take care of business when it comes to playing teams like this. But that yesterday, they never had an answer to everything that Namibia threw at them. So they just have to go and regroup themselves and know that they have a battle in their hands in that group.
All right. Hopefully, after the first round of matches have been played, or the group matches have been played, or even before then, we'll look at the planning, the organization of this tournament under CAF President Patrice Motsepe. I think it deserves some applause right there. James, what happened to the Tunisians? It seems they've not been following what has been happening at the AFCON. It seems they've not been watching television, and they've just been focusing on pitch preparation. Because else, I'm not sure they will be complacent against Namibia.
No, it's not as if they were complacent, but I think what happened was what they expected. Maybe they went to that game believing at least they should be able to do something. They should be able to take all 3 points. But I think as the game went on, reality now dawned on them that they had a fight on their hands, and they just couldn't maneuver their way, try to come up with something. Namibia kept coming, kept their composure, held on, fighting, going into tackles, and they now realized that they had a battle. And it's so unfortunate that they're not considered in the 88th minute. When you play against a team like this, too high on confidence. I'm telling you, once they score like this, they're going to do a blood, sweat, and everything. They're going to put, because they never won at the AFCON since their debut in 1998. Because they've never won, and the opportunity came and they took it. So for me, Femi, that was a big one for Namibia. I just hope that they'll build on this, and let's see what they have to offer in their next game.
Okay, in the second game in Group E, James, I'm feeling so much pity for South Africans right now. Today, they're saying in the media that they are not going to forgive Presitao, and they're also saying that they do not have a coach. They do not regard Hugo Bruce as a coach. James, South Africa started that game like a house on fire. You could see them imposing themselves on Mali. I was at the time doubting, is this really Mali that we expected was going to give South Africa some fight? And they had that penalty, which was deservedly so, though some people say it is controversial. And Pesitao missed that, he ballooned the ball over the bar, and the ball was virtually found in Ghana. Um, what will you say, James? Even after the penalty, they still had the momentum, as if they were going to get another goal.
Yeah, for me, that's one thing about football. If you are on the high and you don't take your opportunities, you know that football it has periods. One period, the other, one team is dictating, is on the high. Then another period, the other team takes over, and when it was the turn of Mali, they made sure their own counted, and that was how they were able to get those goals. South Africa had the opportunity. I think being Peseta was able to convert that penalty. I don't think Mali would have been able to come back. But it was so unfortunate that South Africa, they on the high, they just failed to convert the chances that came their way. They had the penalty, and Peseta blasted it over the bar. So I think they didn't recover from that setback. They kept going and kept going. So Mali grew into the game and took their chances. So that's football for you. Football is something that take your opportunities, because you never can tell what will happen. And unfortunately for South Africa, their star man was the one who missed the penalty, and trust fans they want to come for his neck.
They said they are not
not
going to
even
forgive
deliberately.
it. Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's one thing. No matter who you are, that moment, fans, they can be so emotional. They don't care. They can love you this moment. The next moment, they will just throw. they will just dislike you the next moment once you don't do what they really want. So for me, South Africa, they have their work cut out now.
Okay.
The Namibia that will be the whipping boys of the group, they have a point already. So it's just how they manage the next games, because this is a big opportunity for them to progress from the group.
All right, James, it appears the South Africans dissipated all their energies in the first half, all the energy in the first half, I should say. I do not know what the Mali coach told his players, because it worked perfectly well. In the second half, it was just about them. And do you think the 2-0 tells the whole story about that game?
Well, football is a game of two halves. Because you dominated in the first half doesn't mean you continue like that in the second half. That's like what I said. When you are on the high, just try as much as possible to convert your chances, because it will might turn, and that was what happened. I've known the South Africans for their style of play, pacey, quick 1-2 passes, that they are very fast. And sometimes when you do that, you know that you're exerting energy, and try as much as possible to make those opportunities that comes away. Try and make sure that it counts. Because if you put away a couple of those chances in the second half, you can now change tactics. Try to slow the game down. Try to frustrate your opponents. But I mean, when they were on the high, they failed to take opportunity, and then the Lions grew into the game, and the opportunity came, and they took it. So I think they have to go back to the drawing board now and see how they can re-strategize, because it's not looking good for them. The team that we thought would be the whipping boys, the Namibia, now they have 3 points. South Africa have everything to do now, because they have their next 2 games, they're like finals. They're going to play 2 finals. Very, very big games for them. I'm telling you, Femi, it's not going to come easy for them at all.
You took that right out of my mouth. James, let's look at the matches that will be played today. We have Morocco versus Tanzania. It's another case of David and Goliath. But with what we've seen so far, they have got. Are we likely going to see another upset?
Femi, I'm afraid to make predictions now, because
okay, just analyze. No make prediction, just analyze.
the more just keep shutting my mouth. Morocco, Tanzania. On paper, you want to give it to the Moroccans, but I believe they know what has been happening in the competition. Tanzania too. The results posted by the likes of Equatorial Guinea, Namibia, Cape Verde. They too, they will be like, can do it too. If these teams, if these teams can do this, why not? We too can do this. And being the first game, they want to give their all. So, but you still want to tilt towards Morocco. But Femi, I think this one is. I want to be very careful now. I don't want to make predictions, and at the end of the day, everything will just blow up in my face. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. With the kind of result that we've seen, even what do you call the team that lost to Burkina Faso, Mauritania, despite the fact that they lost, you still want to give them kudos. I mean, they held their own. It was just a late capitulation for them. So Morocco, they knew what is happening now, so they just have to up their game, because nothing is going to be presented to you on a platter of gold. You have to work.
Yeah, okay. Okay, James, this is going to be the first match between these two sides at the AFCON. The first game they ever played, or the last time they played, was last November 2023, in the 2026 World Cup qualifier, which Morocco won 2-0 in Dar es Salaam. Would you say that will give the Tanzanians some motivation to go into this game and say, let's correct the wrong? Or do you think that it's still going to be all Morocco?
Just like I said, the happenings in this AFCON is an eye-opener for everybody. Morocco, too, they've seen what's been happening to some of the big teams. Tanzania, too, they too feel we can do this too. We can hold our own. This is a neutral venue, so they will want to give it their all. That if they can stick to the game plan, motivate themselves, who says they cannot do something? The thing about this, what I've observed is, once the first half ends and there's still no goal, especially when you have a game between a big team and the small team. When the first half ends, no goal, and the second half keep dragging, Femi, it has become a balanced game, anybody's game. So that's the trend. If as a big team you don't take your chance, you don't score first, I'll tell you, that team will grow in confidence and they will make life difficult for you. They will stick to their game plan. They will put everything into it, frustrate you and all. So Tanzania will go into that game full of confidence. That one they've lost before, and then two, the shocks that we've been seeing, they will feel why not? They can create their own history. So let's see how things pans out. Though you still want to give it to Morocco, but Femi, like I said, let's keep our fingers crossed. We've seen shocks, and then I don't think we've seen the last of the upsets in this competition.
Okay, James, as a wrap up now, the last game of the first round of matches at the 2023 AFCON will be between Zambia and DR Congo today. That is in the last group, Group F. Now, James, this is the third game or third time these two teams will be meeting at the AFCON. The first one was in 1974. The first game ended 2-2 in that game. Then the second, the replay, when they used to have replay back then, ended 2-0 in favor of Zaire, which is used to known as DR Congo, right? DR Congo. Now,
yes.
In 2015, it ended 1-0. So it's been a close encounter between these two. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, I think I would say they have equal strength. But supercomputers is giving DR Congo 41% of winning. 41% of winning, a very small portion of winning to Zambia, and the large possibility of a draw. Would you agree with the supercomputer? Because as far as I'm concerned, there has been a revolution in Zambia under Abraham Grant.
For me, this is going to be a very, very tight game. It will be so difficult to come out and make predictions. So supercomputer, they just based on some data that they put together before they will now come. Because they do all that doesn't mean it's going to happen like that. We've seen things happen in this AFCON. So whatever prediction you see or you hear from supercomputers and the rest, and we just take it with a pinch of salt. This game is going to be very feisty, going to be very tough. I'm looking at two teams that are equally balanced. So I won't be. So it's going to be by the odd goal. If anybody is going to win, maybe 1-0. Who is that team? I don't know. So it's either going to be a 1-0 victory, or they're going to play 1-1, because it's the two teams are just like too close. There's so many similarities, very strong sides. So it's going to be a close contest, and very difficult to call. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's see some exciting football. Let's see how far the Zambian team have come under Avram Grant, because a lot have been said about his team, his experience, and how he has been able to mold this team. So on the field of play, that's where we're going to see how far this team have come, and let's see what will happen.
Okay, head to head, of course, these two teams have met 12 times. Then DR Congo have won just twice. Zambia have won 4 times, and they have 6 draws in between them. If you also look at the FIFA ranking, of course, DR Congo, they are 67th in the world according to FIFA, and they are 17 places. 17 places ahead of Zambia. James, everything is pointing to DR Congo winning this game, but like I said, with what we've seen at the AFCON, and with so much that we've seen with the Zambian team, though they have not been able to keep a clean sheet in their last 3 matches, but the midfield and the attack seems to be biting so well. Of course, we know a few of them, Patsindaka, Fashion Sakala, these are the guys that will be doing it for the Chipolopolo. Would you still say that with all these stats, with all these pre-match statistics, would you say DR Congo might still likely have the edge going into this game as we wrap up?
I'm still sticking to what I said, that it's going to end by the odd goal. Who's going to win? I don't have an idea. But so I'm still sticking with my earlier predictions of maybe by 1-0 victory and a draw, like a 1-1 draw. All those statistics are just on paper to just add spice to the lead up to the game. So games like this is always very, very tough to call, because the two teams look evenly balanced. So let's just hope for an exciting encounter, and I know that we're going to get that from these two heavily matched teams.
All right, okay, you can say that again. James Agweribe, thank you so much for your insights on the show today. You said that you do not want to predict matches anymore because Namibia actually shocked you. You were waiting for Super Eagles to do it on last Sunday. They couldn't do that, but Namibia did it yesterday. And today, of course, we are set for another game. And I'm sure that a particular game that people will want to see how well it goes is Morocco versus Tanzania. And like you said, this DR Congo versus Zambia is going to be a very close encounter. I completely agree with that. Thank you so much, James. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. See you tomorrow.
All right. So to our fans across the world, we appreciate you so much for all the support. I hope you are having a fantastic time at the AFCON. I'm sure you are, even if your country didn't qualify for the football fiesta in Africa, but I'm sure you are having at least a glimpse of what is happening at the competition. We are happy with what is panning out right there in Cote d'Ivoire, because it is a big indication, a massive indication that football is growing on the continent. Tomorrow we will return with another yesterday at the AFCON, and of course we look at the start of the second round of games, where the Super Eagles of Nigeria have a date. I would say with destiny, because they will be playing Cote d'Ivoire, and the Black Stars of Ghana. They have to redeem themselves, the players, the shooting, because they will be playing against Egypt. Egypt also need a point in that game, or some result in that game. So Thursday is going to be another swell time on the show. I remain Ashaolu Olufemi Kade. We'll see you all. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.